Thank you very, very much for taking
Hmm.
your reputation precedes you. Your organization is well known for innovation, and we're so pleased to be able to talk to you today. And I would like you first to describe your organization.
Yeah, thank you. And it's a pleasure to join with you in the conversation. I always enjoy this sort of thing. So, Gardens by Communities is a senior living organization located in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. We have currently about 1,000 people who live on our main campus. So it has grown fairly significantly over those 25 years. We are nonprofit affiliated with the Mennonite Church and just an organization who, from its very beginnings, really has sought to ask ourselves not what can we get, but what can we give. And so our founder, our founding board chair, was very focused on how can we create an organization that's not an island unto itself, but is serving the community around us and is a good neighbor. So that really has been foundational.
How do you think active adult preferences have changed,
Yeah.
or how have we changed to recognize these people?
We have to be looking over the horizon and anticipating what is coming towards us so that we can prepare for it and be nimble in the way that we respond to it. And I think that's especially true as we think about designing community. We know that community is core to who we are as human beings, but people are finding new and different ways and expectations in how they meet that need for relationship. And so I think we have to be mindful of that. We have to anticipate that, and we have to not do things the same way we did it 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Otherwise, we're going to be irrelevant.
Ask in general how specifically you're trying to react um, to the other 95% and the people who perhaps may not be um, hardwired to say, I want to move to the main campus, or I want to move into the congregate building, or whatever they might be. The other
Yeah,
95%.
that we have to kind of drop back and say, well, what is it that can help people to become the best version of themselves?
Hmm.
Um, and how might that? How can we play a role in creating an environment that challenges and encourages and supports people to strive for what Maslow called self-actualization,
Hmm.
but is basically that sense of how do I become my best self, and what does that look like? So, from a design perspective, some of the things that we try to focus on in our community is how do we bring people together? Research has shown that the way we make friends as we get older is very different than the way we make friends, when we're young, when we're in
Hmm.
school. And so we have to understand that and then design around that. So we have points where people bump into each other naturally, day after day, where there's that contact, and out of that contact, forms relationship, and then friendship, and then deep friendship. And so as we look at even the way we design our residences and our buildings and our campus, we try and really key into how can we design in a way that will make it easier to have a great relationship with your neighbors than to do the opposite.
So you have done something that I think is extraordinary. And it's an idea that's been around for a very long time, um, since the beginning of time when we created neighborhoods and villages and that. But I think we got away from that in second half of the uh, 20th century. And you've created a portion of your campus, or just off of your campus, just adjacent, called Sycamore Springs. And I would love to learn more and have you share a little bit about why you made that decision to go in that direction, and what kind of outcomes you may have seen.
It has really captured the attention of people in our area and beyond. So, that idea of having a front porch, of being able to have your eyes on the green, whether you're in at the kitchen or the dining room or the living room. You can see what's happening outside and what your neighbors are kind of doing in the front of the house, but still have privacy in the back of the house. To have a neighborhood commons building where you can have just neighborhood gatherings and potluck suppers and book clubs and all those kind of things. And just be able to really engage in life together has been really meaningful. And we have found the depth of relationship that has formed and the speed at which they have formed is just amazing and something that even surprised us. The homes are nested together so that you're not looking into your neighbor's window, from your bedroom into their bedroom kind of thing. So you have an open side of the house and a closed side of the house right next to you. So it's very focused on guarding that balance of privacy and social engagement, and it seems to work really well.
One thing that we know is the preferences of the people that you serve, the social preferences are not unlike people in their 20s or 30s. I mean, so, and I'm confident that if you decided someday we are not in the Sycamore Springs business, we're putting every one of these up for sale, they would sell like hotcakes because it's just a human need that you talked about for this interaction engagement, and what you've done is encourage that.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was having breakfast with a group of people from the community this morning, and somebody asked me, so what happens when the baby boomers are no longer with us and the demographic drops off and you have all these empty homes, on your campus? It's a big place. Mm-hmm. And my response, interestingly, was exactly that years ago, we started designing and building with the thought that if that day ever came, that people of any age would love to move into those spaces. And so it's that idea of creating good design that meets people's basic human needs, not designing for old people. And it's very true. In fact, when we started Sycamore Springs, we were looking at an age limit of 62 and over. And we had people come to us and say, we don't want to wait until we're 62 to move in there. Is there any way you can lower the age limit to 55? And so that's what we did.
So you did. Oh, isn't that wonderful? And I'm sure you've seen a younger demographic move into that campus, or I shouldn't say it's your overall campus, but that portion of the
right.
campus. Yeah. Well, that is so helpful. Garden Spot Communities and you have been such innovators, and this is just another example. And I think there's a lot that we can all learn from that. And I'm so appreciative, Steve, of your time sharing that story.
Well, thank you. And I think we've probably failed more than we've succeeded, but that's all part of the game, right? When you're trying something new and different, you have to be willing to fail and hopefully fail forward. So that's our goal.
You're
but
doing that
thank you for the time.
Very well.